Good afternoon all for attending our Women Cyber First presentation. I'm happy to be here on behalf of all the women in our field. And I'm definitely very honored and take pride in this event and in being part of the Luxembourg cybersecurity ecosystem, as well as the Women Cyberforce president. We are definitely not able to meet in person given the circumstances we have, but I'm heartened that we can come together virtually to present Women Cyberforce and encourage more girls and women in our field. We are here today to celebrate all the great women who have made this happen, not just us as organizers when I say this, but all of you who have connected now and who will be listening to this recording and will help us spread the word and encourage further others, hence ultimately supporting our cause for women in cybersecurity. The gender imbalance in cybersecurity industry is evident across the globe, and it should not come as a surprise that Luxembourg would be dealing with the same matter at hand. Apart from the evident gap from various studies worldwide in headcount, there are apparent studies worldwide about gender pay grade variances that we have and roll downgrade due to gender differences. And this continuous battle to enforce meritocracy independently from gender, looks, religion, origin, or any other non-work related topic is a challenge definitely for the 21st century and not only for the Women's Cyberforce Association. And through this association, we genuinely want to spread the word across and give visibility on matters that need attention, such as promoting, encouraging, and mentoring the next generations of female leaders in the cybersecurity sphere. Now I'd like to present our team and share the slides. So please bear with me because, there it is. So the founding members that we have, there's 11 incredible women in this team, all with different backgrounds. There's 3 of us in cybersecurity. However, why we wanted to share this and we wanted to share the faces of the people is also to know that there's a lot of diversity and there's also a lot of diversity in our fields. So 3 of us in cybersecurity, some communication specialists, some DPO specialists, some in ICT in general specialists, and it shows a lot on the diversity that we care about also within the founding members. Again, I would like to now go to our vision page and just show what our vision is. And it's definitely to build a strong network of confident, connected, and passionate female professionals, such as our 11 founding members in cybersecurity. And we want to contribute to the society where female leaders will no longer be viewed as exception to the rule. And we truly believe in this. Some of our missions that we would like to share with you are connecting and supporting women that aspire to start career in cybersecurity, develop capacity and mentorship programs for entry, upskilling, reskilling in cybersecurity, provide a trusted peer-to-peer environment to share the knowledge and expand the professional network, and increase public awareness on the importance of gender equality in cybersecurity by promoting women's cyberforce at national and international levels. Now, to share some of our successes that we have done so far in our values. So we are celebrating some of the big successes that we have. We have already given a little bit on the word on a WCF conference in December to give a little heads up on what's coming up. We have established our association in January of this year. And we have successfully launched Women for Cyber Luxembourg chapter of the EXO Foundation, Women for Cyber Foundation and X organization in March, on March 8th, Women's International Day. And we are very proud to say that we have created a first official role for somebody within our group of Women for Cyber. And that's actually Desiree, who will be speaking later on. And thank you, Desiree, for that. Desiree is our official ICT security officer. And through our works and help, we have also received some testimonies already. And it's wonderful to see such testimonies coming around for things that we could help out and push the ladies more and give them that little extra push where they needed it sometimes to get into the ICT field in general. On 9th of April to 11th of April, there was a game of code, and we have tried to create teams also and encourage women and ladies to go into these groups. And we are proud to also announce on the 11th of May that we will be having our hackathon organized with Women for Cyber Luxembourg chapter, as well as Switzerland and Serbia Women for Cyber chapters. And thank you for this. I would also like to say that we believe that women are gifted with natural ability to plan, prepare, and deliver in times of crisis, intrinsically or when significant events occur. So what a better way to have women than in the cybersecurity field. We are truly a firm believers that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and that it is critical to us as women to realize all we have over and above our intelligence, of course, given opportunities and sometimes permitted to follow through on matters that are forward thinking. Hence, this association would help encourage such thoughts and reflect that onto other female members and audience. We truly believe if the new generations of females believe in themselves and acquire that self-confidence, then the sky is the limit, and the gender gap in cybersecurity world is the word of past. Again, thank you for being part of our success and for helping us spread the word and help others. Thank you for this. Now I would like to actually introduce our next speaker. That is Naja, one of our founding members. Naja, welcome.
Hello, everybody. Thanks to be with us today. So I'm really happy to be part of this event and to transmit most of our passion when it comes to ICT and to encourage more girls to join this field. So me personally, I studied as a scientist, and then I moved afterwards to the software developer position. And then since there, I worked as a software developer, project manager, always in the ICT, we can say, world, installing software, supporting them, being part of the application support team, something like that. Finally, I reached the position of program manager, and that's really, again, really connected with IT. The link I have with the cybersecurity is the fact that, in fact, I'm an advisor when it comes to the board directors for all the questions related to cybersecurity. So within the different, giving them cybersecurity awareness, explaining them how to be prepared against attack, how to prepare their own organization against attack, which kind of strategy they can adopt in order to raise the cybersecurity awareness within their organization, and to liaise with the CISO when it comes to the different budget allocation, action agreement, and these kind of things. So again, I totally agree with you, Yelena, when it comes to the ability for the women to be part of the ICT world. We are clever enough, we have enough women to mentorship the rest of the girls who wants to attend this field. And I think that we can deliver. So that's why I would encourage as much as I can every woman, every girl to take this field. On top of that, I just want to say that it's a really, the ICT and the IT language, IT world is also a way to embrace freedom. Because once you know how to code, once you know how to protect your organization against attacks, when you know how to manage IT project or cybersecurity project, these kind of things, you can really move everywhere in the world. You are not blocked in Europe or in US or whatever. You can really go everywhere. You can go in every economic fields as well. You can work in finance, you can work for lawyers, you can work for distribution, and any kinds of organization would need your skills or your talents when you are IT, skilled. That's it for me.
Thank you, Naja. This was wonderful, and I really appreciate, and I think everybody would appreciate the words of you saying, when you're in this field, you have the freedom, and you get that freedom that you can go anywhere. It's a universal language. So this was wonderfully said. I would like to ask you, given your background, and given the fact that you started as a scientist, what were some of your biggest challenges getting into the ICT field?
So the good news is that, at the beginning, I had this impression that, it will be different or whatever. But then I had the chance to meet some mentors and some really nice people who helped me to understand that, there is no difference between science and science when it's applicable to the IT fields. Because then here, you need the same level of analysis, the same logical, we can say, reasonment or, way of thinking. And that was really helpful. And on top of that, I have to say that in the science world as well, there is not a lot of women. So unfortunately, you don't change from this field to the other one because of meeting more women, I would say.
That's true. Given this answer, I cannot help but wonder what made you in that initial steps change from the science to cybersecurity and ICT field?
I really had the impression that when you are in the science, you have to belong to kind of a labo. You depend on a team for almost the rest of your life. If you choose, for example, pastors and feeds kind of thing, then you stay with them. And moving from one labo to another one is a big, big decision. Whereas again, when for IT, once you are skilled enough, once you know your field or whatever, you can really change easily again from organization, from fields, from countries, and that's wonderful.
And just following up, because it's very interesting to hear from you and your experiences, what was, if you can share with us, maybe what was your experience as a woman in a male-dominated field? And do you think you were treated any different than a man in your field?
Definitely, yes. I think that, yes, it helps sometimes because, for example, when I was doing application support, so you are the first one who is reached by the users, they are not happy at all or whatever. I had the impression that they were shouting more to my colleague male than to me. So I really quickly show more empathy to their problems, and they know, or at least they knew, that I will take care of their problems really quickly, and that helps a lot. The second big thing that I want to say is that sometimes, you progress in your career because they think that, oh, it's just a woman, so one day or the other, she will disappear because she wants to have babies. So they don't see you as, we can say, a threat to their own career. And that helps a lot when you want to grow with your professional career. And the last important point is that I had a big question at the beginning. Do I have to be like a male, shout and really have the same voice? Or is it okay? Can I grow my career and continue to be just a woman? And I decided the second option. So I stayed soft in my way of talking. I keep the same voice. I didn't wear any, how to say, jeans or whatever on Friday, just to not be seen as a 19, we can say, guy. But it helps a lot because then I have my own, we can say, style. So you don't need to look as a male or as a guy to make your print.
Thank you, Nadia. I wanted to ask if anybody in the audience has any questions. Would anybody like to ask Nadia something?
Okay.
So far, no. Okay, I'll ask one more perhaps question from you, Nadia. If you had one message to give to young population of women or females professionals in this field trying to get in or thinking about going in, what would that message be?
It's not limited to IT, but please try, be bold. Don't let anyone tell you anything about the way you have to drive and run your own life. Try everything. There is no field dedicated to men and no field dedicated to women. You will do exactly the same mistake. You will learn the same lessons, and maybe you will write more.
Thank you, Naja. Thank you very much for encouraging words on this. Much appreciated. Now I would like to introduce Desiree. Desiree has been introduced actually by me as our first position that we have given within the Association for ICT Security Officers. So Desiree, the floor is yours. Please, welcome.
Thank you, Yelena. So yeah, thanks for having me and share my story. I'm a cybersecurity student. I've been studying cybersecurity for a year now. I started last year during lockdown. But it was not because of lockdown. This was a decision I had made before. I had registered for the class back in December before anything happened. But yeah, because it caught me in the middle of lockdown, and all the classes started to happen online while everyone was at home. I think it was a very good thing, because there's been a lot of awareness regarding cybersecurity over the past year. And also the fact that everything is available online now. Like there's a lot more easy access to like these courses or so than there was before. Like now it's very easy to just go and find something you want to study. But I think at the same time, it's been quite hard, because being at home, not being able to go to classes in presential, you don't get this human contact. Like today, we are doing this event virtually because we cannot meet in person. And I think this not having the contact with other people who are already in the field and that can advise you and that can guide you a little bit of what you should be doing, which certifications should you be aiming for, what can you do. It's a bit, yeah, like the downside of this whole coronavirus. And there's a little slide I wanted to show. I don't know if we have it. Yes, which is a bit like how this past year has been in terms of like studying cybersecurity. And there's this top of the curve. When you start studying cybersecurity, you go to your first course and you are like, wow, this is wonderful. Like I know all this stuff already, or most of it, and this is easy, no problem. I'm gonna conquer this. And then comes your second class or your second course, where then you go deep into all the different topics there are in cybersecurity, and you just like fall down, because it's like there's so many things. You start to actually also wonder, like, is this for me? Have I made the right decision? Is this something I want to be studying? And I think you get into this valley of despair, this idea of the imposter syndrome, thinking also like, am I even worth it? Like, is this something I can achieve? Especially that, like a career change now in later life or in later age, after I've already been to university 20 years ago. I've already done like, my career in something else. And I think then slowly, once you get more into it, like you get connected to other people, like now through Women Cyber Force, you start to see again this light at the end of the tunnel, where you start to feel a little bit better, and like you start to think, okay, this might be something. And I think it doesn't only apply to the studies, but also when you are looking for a job, and when you look into cybersecurity and everyone tells you there are so many unfulfilled jobs out there for people in cybersecurity. We need more people to come into the field, and we need new people interested into that. We need new generations. We need that women to join the cyber force. But then you start to look at the actual job offers, and you think, oh wow, there are so many, like let's see, let's have a look. And then you go in and you see they ask you for like 5 years experience in that, or like 4 different certifications or things like that. So again, you are falling down this valley of despair. So I think, yeah, it's very important days like today, like this ICT, Girls in ICT, or what Women Cyberforce is trying to do to people like me who are joining, who are trying to make a change and get into the cybersecurity field, to also see there's that slowly feeling better. There's this something will happen. It's worth it at the end, and yes, it's this. So yeah.
Thank you, Desiree. I think, and I think many of us believe you're a great example of someone who is reskilling and doing something new. And I hope you're definitely on this chart and slowly you'll feel better line. I wanted to ask you perhaps one question before I open to others to ask. How do you feel now? Do you feel you have made the right decision about reskilling and going into cybersecurity?
Yeah, no doubt. I think I really like it. And as I said, it's quite a steep learning curve, especially when you are not working in something or like not working in the field, because there are so many possibilities and not knowing where to go or like where to specialize, like having to have the whole general knowledge. It's quite hard, but I think, yes, it's worth it. Yeah, I'm happy.
Thank you, Desiree. Anybody else would like to ask some questions to Desiree?
We do have a question from Christina. Christina?
Sure, Desiree. I know I've had a lot of opportunity to speak with you already, but what interests me is, where did your initial interest in ICT begin and how that journey started for you?
Well, my journey, it's not a very linear one. I've been interested in ICT all my life. When I was a very young kid, when I was like 9, 10 years old, I did some course with my dad, which was programming in C. And that was at the time of computers with like disks to put the operating system and so, but somehow like I stopped at some point. Like there was all this idea that IT was not a thing for the future, was not a thing where I could make a career, or it was something like, that only for guys who were in some garage coding, and it was not something that I should aim for. So yeah, during my years at university, I had it as a hobby. I learned how to make websites, how to create a blog way before this was even like a thing. So beginning of the 2000s. And then again, it kind of stopped. So now I told myself, if I don't try now, then this is gonna be gone forever. Like I should maybe try to follow for once what I feel is right, what I feel I like, and I should have done many years ago, not heard to this, it's only for guys, or it's something you cannot make a career in. And just give it a shot.
I like what you mentioned about Desiree, about saying during our time when we did universities back then, about the fact that it's not something that will be for future. Because when I told people that I'm going to do it, many people came around saying, oh, what are you going to do with that? Because they will close down in within a few years. There's going to be such a saturation of programmers. So it's funny to see back then what people were saying and seeing now that we all depend on this on digital world. So I'm glad I proved them wrong. All those people that thought that way. You cannot blame it in a way, because nobody knew what the future will bring. But I'm glad it brought us where we are right now. Other questions?
We have a question from Joyce. Joyce?
Hi, everyone. I put it in the chat. I thought it was enough, but it's great to see everyone, and thank you for hosting hosting this event. I just had a question actually for both Naja, Desiree, and probably Yelena as well. I mean, anyone on the call, is that we hear a lot about the importance of role models in ICT, and specifically for young women joining the field in ICT, or more specifically in cybersecurity. So I'm just curious, who is or who was yours?
For me right now, I would say one of my role models and who I depend a lot on is my cybersecurity teacher. Actually, I met him last year when I did the first course in cybersecurity, and he was the first one that really encouraged me to follow an IT path. He was the first one that really said, this is something that you can do. This is something that you are good at. Over summer, when we had the break between courses, he encouraged me to, like, you know, put apart a computer, try to build it again, try to install again the operating system, get into virtualization. So I think also, like, you know, he's been like my guide all through this time. So I'm really grateful. I'm still in contact with him. Like, I still go to one of his classes now. This is my last one, and I'm really sorry because I don't want to lose this connection that we have right now. And I think also Christina has inspired me a lot. She's also been, like, you know, behind my back all the time, like advising me, like when I felt like this is so overwhelming, there are so many options, I don't know what to do, I don't know if this is right or not. So yeah.
I've seen what you can do, and then you can do anything. So definitely
Thanks.
keep at it. And you own your achievements, absolutely.
And we are definitely thankful to have you, Desiree, in our association for helping us out big time. And maybe I can say also for me, there have been few people who inspired me, but I think they inspired in different ways, but it all brought up the same results at the end, starting from my parents, who never made a difference between me and my brother, or having the STEM. It was just natural that I will go into the same. They saw that I liked it, my brother liked it, we both went the same way. Then I think along the way, I also looked up to my brother, being 5 years older, and he did the same major. And somehow I ended up, I liked the math, and I ended up doing that to get something more concrete. As my parents said, it needed to be concrete. I already thought majoring mathematics was concrete, but it wasn't concrete enough for them. So deciding to go into what my brother did also was that, and then I think professionally also, few of the colleagues and few of the people that I asked along the way to mentor me, I was very, I said it, I believe this morning also on the other conference. I think you need to be yourself very proactive and show proactivity that you want to grow. So I remember I asked the CEO of my previous company in Canada to mentor me. And he did it, and he was very glad. And I think that's one of the important messages, that you yourself also create your career, and you need to be very proactive if you want to make something out of yourself. So asking for mentors, even if there's no formal programs, is very important. So yeah, different people that influenced me, but it depends on you. It depends on the culturally how you're brought up. So it has a lot of factors, I suppose, to your success where you end up.
Yes, you're right, Elena. If I may add something, I mean, it's, if we can share some advice with other women or other girls who wants to make it in the ICT, is really to have this how to say this, the chance to always ask, or to always share with others this the willingness to grow. Don't be shy. I mean, really, really share it with, as you said, Yelena, with your CEO, with someone who is with the CISO of your company, with the CIO of your company. I mean, those are, I mean, they even don't notice that you want to grow. So you have to show them that you want to grow, and then they will probably help you. And if it's not in your own organization, you can look around, network a little bit, just to share experience, to get some advice, and to get out from this valley of despair, as you said, Desiree, because you really need it. And I must admit something. I didn't know Yelena before, but I was in this valley of despair when she won the size of the year. She was really beautiful on her, red suit, saying, "Yeah, I did it." And I was part of the, at the assembly, but without knowing Yelena. And this really has raised me up, really. Because at that time, I was just beginning my journey in cybersecurity for board directors. And, you go from a board to the other and they just don't listen to you. They just don't care about the cyber, we can say, security and the different attacks they may encounter. And when in December, when I saw this woman having this prize was really wonderful, and this helped me to continue, I would say.
Nadia, thank you. Thank you. It's beautiful to hear this. Honestly, thank you. Thank you. I always say if you can change just one woman and they're thinking you already succeeded. So thank you for this. Anyone else would like to say something? Any comments, questions?
Yeah, if I may, and I think it also goes to everyone, especially also to Desiree. I really liked what you presented, like not from the content wise, because I think imposter syndrome is something we should try to cope with. But it is good in the sense of that it concerns probably all women. And I was wondering if you think how it would be feasible, to get to get the change of mentality into women, that we don't have to have this imposter syndrome. And also maybe for the others, if they have tips how to not feel this way. And I also appreciate what Nadia said, that we should not try to act as men, because we are different. We are women and we should embrace that. But it's difficult somehow to know what to do or how to be, because you are in a male dominated domain. And so maybe you have some tips for me.
Well,
Do you want me to? Sorry.
Sorry, what you had said for me, I think this, like what we are doing right now with a day like today, or with like the organization, like having other women that can also show you the example, that can show you that also can be done, like they can hold high up positions, like they can also show you, like in a case like me, where I've been outside the labor market for several years, like seeing others who actually are able to still like be there and have a family, have a position. I think this is very important, having these role models, these other people to do too, because like otherwise you just see what you say, like the men and how they do, and you feel like you cannot do the same. Like I think this for me is very important. That's why, yes, having an organization like Women's Cyber Force, or doing events like today, where it's all about girls in ICT and seeing other people who have succeeded as well. This is, I think it's a way to like, showing you are not alone out there. You are not the only one having this imposter syndrome, and that as Nadia said, even when you are in this like valley of despair, there's a way out of it. So I think this is for me the main thing.
I think,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, sorry, Nasha. I wanted to just add that, part of it, I think too, while we can rely on each other and we can connect with each other, Women's Cyber Force is inclusive of both men and women, and really just anybody of all ages as well. And I think if we can help with each other to understand the ways of which we can be inclusive, or even taking away non-inclusive language from an earlier age, then hopefully we can overcome some of the reasons why we even end up with things like imposter syndrome. And while I feel like it is something that's definitely more common in women, It's not only, it also affects others as well. And so if we can connect with each other to support each other, whether it's through Women for Cyberforce, I think we can definitely help to overcome this.
Yes.
Nadia, you wanted to say something as well?
Yeah, I want to say that, when you are in your up phase, we can say, you really have to draw your roadmap. When you are bold enough, you draw your roadmap. I want to become a CISO. I want to get my CSSP done. I want to do that and things like that. And really make sure that you draw it and put it somewhere really visible, somewhere you can see it every morning. And the second thing, which can a little bit surprising, but I never fight against this syndrome. Imposter syndrome is really nice because it will also help you to pivot if you need to pivot. You see, do you really need to go in the technical, in the mini detail of the cybersecurity, or do you want to manage a team of security officer? You see, and from where is it coming? It's coming from your different question, your different wondering, you may have one day. So you take your roadmap and re-question the things because you have this doubt. And this doubt, if it's really strong enough, it will just help you to pivot or, to readjust your dream to what you are really. You see? So don't try to fight against it at any cost. Sometimes it just helps you to pause and think again. And certainly get more faith as well. Because when you are sure that is the way you want to go, then you will become you come back to your path stronger and even more, you can say, determined. So really sure about your road.
Thank you, Nadia, as well on this. I would like to now introduce our next speaker and the closing remarks, one of our founding members as well, who has already spoken and given a few of the points herself. Christina, please, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you again, Naja, Yelena, and Desiree. Everyone has really touched on some good and interesting topics. For myself, I definitely can relate to both points. Cybersecurity is diverse and it is not strictly a technical field. As you go through and you develop or you pivot from time to time, you realize all the different domains and avenues that you can take. And also, it's always important to keep in the back of our minds that our life experiences play a large part in our abilities to take the decisions head on, and that's including at work. Naja, I actually really wanted to say that I appreciate your comment about the freedom of which ICT provides us as well. For me, being from Canada and being able to come over to Luxembourg and start a career here, picking up where I left off into a field that I'm very passionate about, I'm fortunate to have that luxury. Desiree, again, I agree. A lot of people, probably mostly and especially women, suffer from the effects of imposter syndrome. I think most of us have probably gone through bouts where we doubt our own abilities. Imposter syndrome oftentimes as well is associated with feeling like a fraud or that you haven't necessarily earned your position. So I think it's important to recognize that we should overcome those elements of imposter syndrome, but definitely to Naja's point, we take the moment to revisit our path and our journey and our goals from time to time. I've been looking at a couple of Harvard Business Review articles as well on imposter syndrome. And one of the interesting questions is, again, why does imposter syndrome exist in the first place? And what role do our workplaces play in fostering and exacerbating it in women? And this probably, again, it can be even more systemic from our schools, from certain cultures where we're growing up. If, it was more of a conservative culture, for example, or maybe even too liberal. So everything is based on our life experiences and how can we maybe systemically help build, again, more inclusion, more freedom, and take more chances and belief in ourselves. This year's ITU's Girls in ICT theme is about connected girls to create brighter futures. And Women Cyberforce is committed to connecting people together to build strong, confident women, including lifting each other up and providing a support network that can not only curb issues like imposter syndrome, but hopefully also preventing them from happening altogether. Together, we can also set up the future and create environments and cultures that are inclusive and provide equal opportunities for all. Women Cyberforce is committed to helping girls and women interested or already participating in the field of cybersecurity, but echoing a little bit more from Yelena, we are more inclusive to that. We really want to encourage everybody in their career and their journey, and that includes in different avenues of ICT. So we look forward to our growth and becoming a pillar of support. We hope that you've enjoyed today's presentations, and we do look forward to seeing you in the near future. We'll be looking for more members, for volunteers and individuals to take part in our various different organizations and our organization and different events. So coming up, I'll just present a couple of things that we have coming up around the corner. So on April 29th, we have our member soiree. And yes, unfortunately, it is virtual. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to that, but we do look forward to the opportunity to connect with all of our members together and get to know each other. Additionally, every month, if you check out our website and you subscribe to our newsletter, we should have new content every month. So again, look out for May's edition. And lastly, on May 11th to the 13th, we will be holding a virtual no coding hackathon as Women for Cyber Luxembourg in cooperation with Women for Cyber Serbia and AFA Switzerland. So we got 3 countries involved. It should be a fun event. And we encourage girls and women to participate in this event. But it is open to everybody and at all levels, experience levels as well. So again, join us on May 11th, and you can find out a bit more about the topic or the challenge and to get ready to hack at the solution with us. For the next slide, you can also find more details, as I mentioned before, on our website, which is womencyberforce.lu. And then you can connect with us directly on Twitter, follow us, and also on LinkedIn as well. So on behalf of Women Cyberforce, I just want to say thank you again for joining us today to celebrate girls in ICT. And we do hope that you are feeling empowered to join or to continue your development in ICT. And we want you to know that you have our support along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Any closing remarks from anybody else? Any questions that anybody would like to ask anyone? Okay, I guess. Oh, Joyce?
Just a thank you. Yeah. Just a thank you. Thank you for organizing this, and thank you for doing all the work you do. And I hope I will have a bit more time to spend time with all of you soon.
We hope so too. We miss you. Thank you, everybody, again. Have a good day, everybody.
Wonderful evening.
Thank you.